made a commitment, I can avail them as part of my evidence to the commissioner afterwards. Thank you.
Director Malatji, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Do you remember what the question was? Do you remember what the question was that Advocate Sikhakhane asked you?
I thought, okay.
I'm trying to understand what you are answering.
Okay.
Because at what...
Guys, OMG. You know, I started to do the recording to summarize this guy's testimony, and I was going to say his testimony is incomplete and or evasive, and he actually needs to come back. And then boom, something, I just had a light bulb moment, and I realized his testimony is actually complete. The commission does not need to call him back. And so grab your rooibos tea, because I got this figured out. First thing, please, can you go back to my profile and listen to my summary on Rivo Spi's testimony? Because Rivo Spi's and Malatji's testimony are interlinked. They overlap each other. And this is what I am going to explain. So I am not going to repeat the things that I highlighted on this recording. It's just a continuation and or filling in the gaps. So let's start. First, I created a timeline of Malatji, the director for TMB, testimony. And then I realized that his timeline is actually similar to this one that I created for Rivo Spi's. And Malatji's, the only difference is that Malatji's testimony is only concentrated on the 22 company ad hoc guarding tender. This tender here, that's the tender that is in discussion, that he was being probed about and he had to answer to. Deputy Chief Rivo Spi's gives the command side picture of this tender, what he found, what he learned from the records, where Malatji sat in the chain, and what questions he started asking when the ad hoc security services tender became a mess. On the other hand, Malatji is supposed to give the execution side of the picture. He has been with TMPD since 2013, so he definitely knows a lot about this tender. Malatji actually approved the ad hoc deployments, how they were managed inside the department, what he knew, what he told Rivo Spi's, what he did after the irregularities surfaced. And this is what this commission was probing him on. And Rivo Spi's continuously, several times in his testimony, he did say that Malatji was the director directly responsible for the section that handled deployment, monitoring, and invoicing. And even says that the monitoring team for the ad hoc guards sat right inside Malatji's office. Then in Malatji's evidence, the commission and the council puts Spi's emails to him asking the obvious missing questions. Who approved and mandated the ad hoc services? Who gave the instruction? How the process was managed? And remember, these ad hoc services in 2025 alone, January to June, the groupies was paid 91 million rands. And this is why this guy is on the hot seat. And let's hear what he has to say about these payments that went out. Now, let's run through this timeline within the next 5 minutes. So here we go. We already know that Malatji was appointed as director for TMPD in 2013. So he's been working there since 2013. July to September 2016, this is the origin of this tender. Malatji is involved in the BSC, the drafting of the BSC, and then he was appointed as a member of the BEC, point of contact. I don't know if that makes sense. He helped design the tender and later evaluated it. That's an internal control broken right there, but was not formally part of the BSC. I don't know if that makes sense, but something is not right when things are not making sense. 2017 is the first visible breakdown. The BEC irregularities are identified, documents removed to some external site, and then the tender was deemed irregular and it had to be restarted. So Malatji says he does not know of irregularities at the BEC stage, yet he was part of it, and that his knowledge stopped there. The commission, however, put to him that there had been litigation, missing documents, serious process problems around the tender, and he says he doesn't know anything about it. 2018 to 2021, this is where the bidders, these companies, the 22 companies, these ones, I think it's some of them, they went to court to cite the irregular process. That is when the court intervened and made them award the tender to all the 22 companies that were applied. So this is how it was created. And I talked about this in my previous video, so I won't go into detail with that. So I'm going to skip forward. Second warning about this irregular tender. December 2024, Gubis, they lodged a formal complaint of non-payment. Malatji says he investigated it, and then he noticed that the deployments were irregular. January 2025, the knowledge of the irregular deployments is known to everyone at TMPD. In questioning, Council distinguishes between ad hoc services prior to January 14 and the ones that happened after. Malatji agrees with that framing. This matters because it shows the inquiry was tracking a specific period in which the ad hoc system was already operating irregularly before the formal intervention. Malatji's evidence suggests that there was already discussions with superiors about the irregular deployments before the direct written instruction was given. He tries to rely on those discussions when explaining why he did not cancel the deployments once the problems were identified. So he himself says he identified the problem by December 2024 and did nothing about it. 12th March 2025. This is an important date. Reef for Peace sends an email directly to Malatji to stop all ad hoc deployments. 13 March 2025. Malatji did not cancel the deployments at all. This is the critical failure point, because at that point, I think Gubbies had already been paid 51 million. So, so you need to keep track of both of the events and the money. So I have to kind of keep keep track of both of them. So by then, Guppies had already been paid about 51 million. And Malatji was given instructions to stop the deployment. He doesn't do it. Until June, July, he is of 2025, he is suspended. So this is what he has to say about not following the instructions.
Just looking at this report, it should have been very easy for you to identify which additional sites were added in January and February and to cancel them the following day. Your explanation that others were previously allocated correctly simply does not hold water.
Commissioner, the instruction was saying all adults, right? And what came to my mind was this was not the only adults that I was instructed to cancel.
But I'm asking you about these ones. Why did you not cancel these ones? Because with these ones, you can't say they were previously allocated correctly. The email tells you that there are additionals from January and February. And your chief of police, Chief Paro, says there's no budget for this. There's no money. And this is 17 million every month.
Commissioner, I agree. Like I previously said, that it has been an oversight on my part, but Commissioner, please allow me to go and revisit this communication, because here we are dealing with one-sided side of the story. And as to whether I responded to this instruction, how I responded, the commission is kept in the dark. I'm not implying that somebody might have done it to hide information, but I'm saying, as far as this is concerned, can the commissioner allow me to go and check as to what were my reasons for not carrying out the instruction immediately, if any? If it happens that I did not respond to this email positively or negatively, you see, that would then mean there was this oversight, or the commissioner said negligence on my part. But can the commissioner allow me time to go and check these specific emails in particular? Because I know with this one, the previous one, right, there were exchange of information.